Hey, Richard Myers here. Hey, I want to do, we're continuing in the series and the idea of discipleship and how discipleship takes place. And in my early days, in the 1970s, of studying at seminary and so on, the focus in those days, in a strange sort of a way, was on spiritual gifts. There were all kinds of seminars on how to discover your spiritual gift and all these different things. And so that became a focus. And so I developed the whole idea of the uniqueness of the individual, which includes not only spiritual gifts but natural abilities, temperament, and even physical makeup. So we developed that whole idea of individual uniqueness because we're all unique. Isn't it amazing? Of the billions of people that have been on the earth since Adam and Eve, we're all unique. I mean, it's truly amazing to think about it. But in 1 Corinthians chapter 12, and of course we know I've dealt with 1 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 1, 2, and 3, because at the Corinthian church there was an abuse of gifts and confusion. And but I want to read a little bit further now. In verse 4, it says, "Now there are varieties of gifts, but the same Spirit. And there are varieties of ministries, but the same Lord. And there are varieties of effects, but the same God who works all things in all persons," or people. But here's the verse. "But to each one is given the manifestation of the Spirit for the common good." For to each one is given the manifestation of the Spirit for the common good. We worked extensively with more than 100 people for maybe as long as 2 years, discovering uniqueness. And at the end, I realized that if you were going to discover your spiritual gift, you needed to look outside of yourself, not inward. The spiritual gift is the manifestation of the Spirit for the common good. And so if you're going to find this manifestation, in my own case, I think my gifting is teaching, I would see the effects of my teaching, and I know, now nobody else can know, but I knew that I wasn't smart enough, I wasn't clever enough. This was beyond my natural abilities, my natural capabilities. This was a manifestation of the Spirit. And it's a joyful thing to see. It truly is. Now, from this concept, I believe, and there's many other, and I've written an entire dissertation on this, but because we're all gifted, we're all called. In other words, there isn't a special calling that would make one a different kind of Christian. We're all gifted, and we're all called to exercise those gifts within the body. And it is within the body that we become disciples. Now, I was discipled outside of what might be understood as a local church, but I was with brothers and sisters who loved me, and we met on a regular basis, and we prayed together, and we were bonding in the Spirit, and we were encouraging one another. And some of them were gifted in leadership, some of them were gifted in administration, some of them gifted in giving. I know that I have a close friend who is gifted in giving, and he taught me what it means to give. And so his spiritual gift ministered to my life and caused me to become a disciple. And so it is the spiritual gifts and the manifestation of the Spirit for the common good, where and in the collective, in the body, in the gathered body, and in the relationships, and mutual relationships of love and encouragement, it is within this context that discipleship takes place. And so it's very important to understand that along with your salvation, God has given you a gift, that you're not to neglect it. And I would encourage you, as so many people are looking inside, taking different tests and all of this, but I would encourage you to look outside as you're involved with other people, and as you're involved in the fellowship, you'll see some things happen, and you will know. No one else will know, but you will know that it wasn't your capabilities. This was beyond you, and you could say that is the area of my gifting. Now, I was taught in seminary how to make hospital visitations and do these kinds of things, but that's not my gifting. But somebody who has that gifting, they can just come in, take the hand of that person, and just comfort them with a comfort that is beyond me. And so gifting is very important, but to realize that you're called to exercise that gift. God has placed on you a calling because he has invested in you a gift that you're to be a steward of. And so I just wanted to give this short message. We're all gifted, we're all called, and discipleship takes place within the body as the gifts are expressed. Hey, may God richly bless you as you express your gift, as you love one another, as you exhort one another, as you pray for one another. God bless you in this body experience.